It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, October 3rd. I believe this is Mean Girls Day, if you guys haven't seen that meme everywhere about it being October 3rd. But welcome to today's episode of Mean Girls starring dosers. Just kidding. We're not going to be mean unless we're talking about P. Diddy. Then we're allowed to be mean about every single thing in the world. I am so happy so many of you are here. I understand it's a Jewish holiday and my kids are home from school. A lot of people are taking the day. They're going to temple. They're going to spend time with their family. We are not doing temple. We had a beautiful Rosh Hashanah dinner last night at my sister's house. We had a gorgeous, beautiful table. We did our prayers. We did the apples dipped in honey and the pomegranates, wishing ourselves a sweet new year, a happy and sweet new year, hoping this year is better than the last for the Jews and for so many. So starting this day off with a positive energy for you guys. I mean, I could start every day with you guys and I would be happy. We have a lot to talk about today. We have 2 shows to recap and talk about. And then, of course, we have to do our daily dose of Diddy and some Jax Taylor news and more. So I'm glad you guys are here, but don't plan on going anywhere for the next hour. This is your daily dose of Donna. Welcome. What if I just did the entire show in song? How many people would that piss off? I can think of like about 46 people that would immediately unsubscribe. They'd say, I'm getting the F out of here. You know, I read your guys' comments while I do my show and I try so hard to like connect with them, but sometimes they're about like personal struggles and stuff. And I just want you to know that if I'm not talking about it or connecting about it, it's not that I'm not recognizing it. My heart literally goes out to so many dosers who have good days and bad days that come in here, you know, with the hurricane that we just experienced on the East Coast. So many people are struggling. I mean, it's devastating to watch all of that footage. And I don't have any personal friends that are in struggling regions, but I know a lot of you are. I know a lot of you are struggling with health issues and all kinds of struggles right now. So I just want you to know that when I do the show, like I see you and I love you and I care about you and I want you so badly to, be okay. And Cheryl, happy birthday. She says, so glad I'm getting to catch the live show today. It's my birthday today, praying for the peace of Israel. Oh, that is a wonderful birthday wish and happy birthday to anyone that's having a birthday today. You guys, I'm just going to sit here and take requests all day. Who else do you guys want me to? What else should I talk about? Now at 1:30 today p.m. Pacific time, I'm planning on doing a members only live. I put the link in the show notes. It's the first link to join the members only live channel. You have to join to get access to it. We're going to go real deep on Diddy. We're going to go even deeper. We're going to say things that I'm probably kind of scared to say here. And then, of course, we'll talk about all kinds of other things over there. So make sure to join and that video stays up. And if you join the members only, you have access to all the previous members only. Speaking of joining or anything, I don't talk about this that often, but Patreon this month will be focused on, I do a weekend Sunday Fun Day episode every weekend where I talk about different things. But then on this month, I'm going to do a Love is Blind recap. I started Love is Blind, the new season. I believe it's in DC. I kind of can't remember where it is, but I believe it's in DC. And it was yesterday I started episode 1, and I think I'm on episode 2. And I was so busy yesterday cooking all day, so I was watching it on my phone, but I was also looking at recipes. I feel like I wasn't fully invested. It's good, though. I mean, Love is Blind is a phenomenal show. I don't know what they do on that show to get it to be so good. And in a weird way, I always feel like I don't like the pods, but I think the pods are my favorite part of the entire show. So make sure to join Patreon, which the link is also below, to get access to every single episode I've ever talked about. I've talked about so many personal things, talked about so many drama things. I've talked about different content creators. I've done the Jeff Lewis, Heather McDonald dramas. Like, it's all there. So make sure to join Patreon. Okay, let's get into today's show. We'll do a couple stories before we start talking about sex toys. I was hoping for that awkward silence to hit hard, just like it hit me. You know, when you say sex toys, you just have to stop for a moment. Sex toys, calm. Let's talk about some stories that have popped up. These are not like massive stories, so let's just get through them. Kristin Cavalari's ex. Did you guys hear about this? You know how Kristin just broke up with her 22-year-old boy toy? He's 24, but like same, right? Kristin Cavalari's ex, 2 days after the breakup is announced, or 3 days after, apparently is doing a new reality TV show, Looking for Love in Nashville. This is a Vibe. Let me get the exact company that is picking this up. But it's going to be a Looking for Love show with the Montana Boys, which is basically his crew of guys where they do some sort of TikTok lip syncing. I mean, I claim to be fun and young. I was just hanging out with my 16-year-old niece last night. Well, let's see. She was born in 08. So she is 17 this year. What? 16. She's 16 this year. Thank you. Thank you, Donna. I'm saying thank you to myself. So Maya was with her yesterday, and she's having a party at her house this weekend, like with all the 16-year-old kids. And I was like, why? Why aren't I getting invited? Like, I'm the cool aunt. And it was an awkward moment because I felt like she was like, yeah, cool, Donna. So Kristin Cavalari's ex, Mark Estes, it's for Vice Studio Group. They're developing a reality series about the Montana Boys with Viral Nation, a leading social media marketing and creator representation agency. It will star internet sensations like the Montana Boys, and they're going to be out there trying to find love. So I'm hearing that he was completely blown away by this breakup and feeling very, shocked by it, but not that shocked because he's already looking for love. And also, I will say personally, oh, look at that. I already got a new member. I got Marani. Welcome. I will say that Mark Estes, to me, I will stand by this until the end of time, that he annoyed the crap out of Kristin Cavalari and she felt like, I need to break up with this guy. Stat. We've all been with an immature guy. Like, it's happened. It's going to continue to happen. So 100% that's what happened. And he's out to find new love, and he'll probably end up with Haktua. You know what I mean? It's going to be a match made in heaven. By the way, Haktua, her name is, I think, Haley. She had the number 3 podcast in the world last week. It was like Joe Rogan, maybe Smartless, and Haktua. And I have no idea who the hell, like, what? Who is she even? What is she doing on this? Does she just Haktua her way through an hour? Guys, I'm going to start Haktuaing. Maybe if I keep saying Haktua, it will happen. Oh my gosh, Wanda and Andrew Dominguez each gifted 5 Daily Dose of Donna memberships. Wow, you guys are killing it. Again, how do you get a membership? You have to be here in the lives. You have to be here in the lives, and you have to be loud and proud. You have to be here and queer. You have to be light and tight. You have to be chatty and batty. So there you go. Anyway, so please don't change the channel and listen to Haktua. I have a feeling that my content will be a little bit more interesting. Although, watch Haktua become the next female president. I mean, at this point, anything can happen. We never, ever know. Another story. Yesterday, I covered the Jax Taylor and Brittany Cartwright divorce. Jax Taylor is a douche. He's okay. I can say this now because he's blocked me. He's officially blocked me on social media, which is wild. because we've never even had a conversation. So for him to block me just shows me that he probably has, I don't know, like a big ego, but a small penis. I don't know. I'm just saying, allegedly. He's the guy that, drives big cars to show off. So anyway, Jax, I every day he goes lower and lower in my brain. He makes like Carl Radke look like a shining star. And I just can't. I just can't. So he apparently totally messed up that paperwork yesterday, that divorce paperwork. I was trying to read it here. It was so confusing. He was like saying everything wrong. It was as if he was either drunk, high, or like my 9-year-old did it. He had no idea what he was filling out. And Brittany had to respond and say, we definitely did get married. Sometimes paperwork is hard for people. And then Lance Bass, who what's it called? Officiated the wedding, as we know. Remember, Lance had to come in because the pastor that they had was some sort of like really anti-LGBTQ type of guy. And they got a lot of shit for it. So they ended up bringing like a gay pastor, a gay boy band pastor, Lance Bass. Anyway, Lance said, no, I definitely signed the paperwork. So they got married. She is so much better off without him. Not only is she not throwing up, but her brain cells have multiplied since she, since she left him. Hanging out with Jax makes you stupid. I just heard that from a friend. Also, his bar ain't doing well. And I'm just being honest. I saw it that one night on a Friday. Then I talked to another girl at my gym who said that she went on a Saturday a couple weeks after I did, and it was dead, 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 dead Saturday night. And on Sunday, which is like football heaven, right? So Sunday sports bars during the day are usually packed. At least they are here. I don't know about where you guys are, but with 15 football games going on, so many people don't have Sunday ticket, etc. So they go to sports bars. They like to watch football games with a bunch of other people. I actually love watching Sunday football at a bar. It's so fun. So I was driving by last Sunday, and it's connected to a bar called Rocco's. I think they share a kitchen, and like they share a wall. It's definitely part of Rocco's space as far as I know. And when I drove by, all of Jax's windows or doors, they don't even have a door. I don't know, gate was open. You could see all the TVs on in there. And no one, I saw like 2 people in there. I'm not joking. And then I kept going over to Rocco's and it was packed. So like Rocco's was packed and Jax's was dead. He's gonna need to get. Oh, did you guys see this other thing about Tom Schwartz and Kyle Cook? Kyle Cook and Tom Schwartz are like touring the cities. I don't even know what they're doing. They were in San Diego a few nights ago or a few days ago doing some sort of lover boy, whatever. I don't even know. And then Kyle was like, I think this was on Monday. He's like, we're doing this random last minute stop by at Schwartz and Sandy's for Tuesday night. You guys come and have drinks. Did anyone go? I didn't see anything about it. I didn't look it up, obviously, but that was Tuesday night. And there is not one side of me, one part of me that would want to go. Like Schwartz and Sandy's has to be done, right? There's no way. And Kyle Cook is like, I mean, listen, he's got Loverboy, so I guess you kind of have to do that, but I can't wait for next season of Summer House. Like, bring that shit to my face right now. Next story. Where do I want to go here? Oh, let's talk about like a really fast. Leah Mcsweeney. Did you guys see this? Leah Mcsweeney's lawsuit against Andy Cohen will actually be coming out will be argued in court this month. Can you believe this lawsuit is like still a thing? I couldn't believe this when I saw this. According to page 6, Leah Mcsweeney's lawsuit against Andy Cohen, Bravo, and others involved in making Real Housewives shows appears to be gathering some momentum. The suit, which the former Roni and Ultimate Girls Trip star accuses the defendants of intentionally making her fall off the wagon in an attempt to boost ratings, has a court date for oral arguments. It says, this article says, we believe it to be the first time a cast member has argued their suit against the reality network in open court. Nene Leakes previously sued the network and never went to court. Carolyn Manzo also has a legal case pending. And they're not mentioning Brandy Glanville and everyone else. Remember, the law offices are getting busier and busier. I mean, soon there won't be enough places for on the door, like words. Former Real Housewives of New York City star Mcsweeney claimed in her lawsuit filed that the show won its best audience figures ever when one of its stars appeared to be confused, irrational, and losing touch with reality. It had nothing to do with you, Leah. It was because we liked watching like Ramona and Luann and Sonia. Please, Leah. You did not. You running around with tiki torches is not why I tuned in. I don't know about you guys. I'm not sure about you guys. They claimed that the lawyers are claiming that knowing she was battling alcohol addiction. By the way, note to self: if you ever battle alcohol addiction, don't sign up for a reality show, and that even includes like intervention. It's not a good idea. Don't go on Drew's. Don't go on Dr. Drew's. What was that show? Celebrity Rehab. Was that what that show was called? What was that show called? Lance worked on that. Wait, what was that show called? Celebrity Rehab. It was on VH1, right? And it was at a rehab facility. Lance worked on that show. He was like in the room when that crazy fight broke out. That was when I first started dating Lance. In fact, he found a cat, like a stray cat, while working on that show that we ended up having for 10 years, Wiley. Celebrity Rehab. Lance has good stories about Celebrity Rehab. I got to get his stories. It says producers saw her vulnerable condition as an opportunity to net big audience numbers by messing with her head until she went off the rails in a similar way. She says they were successful in their first alleged attempt to get her drinking again, but the second time they tried, she was able to resist. Okay, the suit goes on and on. Now we hear that Judge Louis Lyman expects to hear oral arguments at a downtown New York courthouse on October 30th. I love how it says oral arguments. Like, what other kinds of arguments are they going to have? Like, I fight you. Like, yeah, you made me drink. Like, of course it's oral. Like, what kind of other arguments? An insider told us that the court hearing will be an opportunity for the defense to argue for the motion and for Mcsweeney's team to argue against it. If Leah Mcsweeney wins this case, I will date Jax Taylor. Okay? Like, I will have sex with Jax Taylor. If Leah Mcsweeney wins this, I can't believe I said that out loud, because there could be a world where she could win and I will never touch Jax with a 10-foot pole. Never. Oh, this is so good. Andy will be represented by Phaedra, Mark says. That would be the best. Why can't we get like People's Court? It should be called Reality Reckoning Court. It will be like a 24/7 channel, and it will just be Bethany. Bethany the entire time. She'll be commentating. Guys, okay. So if you don't go to court against Andy Cohen, you're an animal. So get ready with me to go to court against Andy Cohen. Get ready with me. So at court, they have the best chicken salad. Did you know that you guys can get the best chicken salad ever in the lobby of the New York City courthouse? Yeah. If you don't know, you're an animal. Can't you just imagine Bethany commentating on court cases? And then she pulls out her crab and like the bucket. And we'll be like, misophonia, man. Like, stop. Whoever's eating in the corner. Can you stop? Oh, it's so good, you guys. I love the comments today. We're having a lot of fun. Darcy says Leah ruined New York. We should sue her. Michelle says Bravo should countersue and make her pay for all this nonsense. I would like to pay. I would like to get paid. Well, I guess I am getting paid to talk about Leah because this is on my show. So thank you, Leah, for the content. All right. Before we get into some Diddy news, the Daily Dose of Diddy, I do want to bring up our first sponsor of this week's show, and that is Jenni Kayne. Now, when I think of Diddy, I don't think of Jenni Kayne at all. So this is not connected whatsoever, because Jenni Kayne is classy. Jenni Kayne is elevated. Jenni Kayne is beautiful and soft and pretty and clean. And Jenni Kayne does not involve itself with those involved in that corner. You know what I mean? Jenni Kayne has sweaters that are the quintessential must-have item. Now, we're in a heat wave here, so that's why I'm basically in a bathing suit, but it is so cozy when you get to those fall months and you start lighting your pumpkin spice candle and then you start eating your chili and then it's Christmas because it only gets cold here in November, but it doesn't matter. They have cashmere cocoon cardigans. The cocoon is the perfect cardigan. It's oversized. It's super soft. It goes with everything. It feels like a blanket, but you get to wear it and it looks pretty. They have all their cozy sweaters. They have a cashmere half zip that is so cozy. They have a stunning collection of home essentials, timeless furniture pieces, cozy pillows and throws. And they have an incredible rewards program. Just think minimalist and refined with pieces like cozy sweaters. How many times do I have to say cozy for you guys to get that it's super, super cozy? But anyway, it's a quintessential California brand. And we are California girls, just me and Katy Perry. Okay. California girls, they're unforgettable. Jenni Kayne on the top and the bottom. Go to JenniKayne.com. That's JenniKayne.com and use code Daily Dose 15. That's capital Daily Dose. I don't think it matters if it's capital or not. One word. Daily Dose 15 for 15% off your first order. Go to Jenni Kayne and use the code Daily Dose 15. Like getting dressed, be one less thing to worry about. Embrace your fall aesthetic with Jenni Kayne. You guys, let's talk Diddy. Let's do a little Diddy. Who sang that song? Do a little Diddy if you want to, because then I could see if you want to. I really hope that guy was not involved with Diddy. Now I feel like I need to hear the song. Do a little Diddy if you want to. Was it Do a little Diddy? I mean, they're gonna just pull up Diddy music, right? Do a little Diddy? You guys are gonna help me. Hold on. Hold on. This is not. None of these songs are it. Am I not singing the right song? Do if you want to, because then I can see if you want to. Do a little Diddy if you want to. Yes, I got it. Paperboy. Paperboy. And for all of you guys that didn't help me with that, I'm mad. Okay. Yo, this is okay. I don't want to get in trouble about copyrights. Thank you, Paperboy. Michelle says, I long for the day where a Diddy is not uttered. I am not in my Diddy era. Unfortunately, I am. And I hate to say that right now we are in such a moment that it would be silly of me to not talk about Diddy because so many other names are involved. And that's why I really, really kind of want to get into it. I thought this was so interesting. Number one, front page of page 6 today. It was all over Daily Mail, etc. Is this article that's saying music and A-listers are not sleeping well over fears they could be named in Sean Diddy Combs lawsuits. Some of America's biggest music executives are said to be panicking as a top attorney has warned that high-profile accomplices of Sean Diddy Combs will be named in a new wave of accuser suits, and the names will shock you. Many people are at the highest level, including artists, executives, managers, and others are not sleeping well right now, Brian Friedman told Page 6. Brian Friedman is a big attorney. I've heard his name, and I think it has to do with Bethany. I swear to God. I think he has worked with Bethany. Those who have knowingly allowed and or encouraged the behavior while remaining silent should be concerned. I think there's probably a lot of people that were not personally involved in any of the bad behavior, but knew of it. And it goes to show how important it is if you see something to say something. Because if you're not seeing, If you're seeing horrible, and it's one thing like, oh, you see a guy that like likes to get freaky in bed and have threesomes or orgies or whatever, like that's fine. If it's legal consensual behavior, then fine. But if you know about any sort of underage behavior, if you know of any non-consensual relationships, if you know of any sort of endangerment or threatening or God forbid the person's life on the line, life and death situations, it's really scary because these people are not opening their mouths for a few reasons, I imagine, and never open their mouths for a few reasons. I would imagine the first thing is A, he's super high powered and super connected, or at least was, Diddy was. And if you're in the music industry or if you're, in that world, the last thing you want to do is cut ties with someone who's high powered and high connected. And I'm not saying in 2022. I'm thinking back in like the early 2000s, like the years 2000s to 2010. I'm like thinking of the J-Lo years of the like high class white parties. This is the years that are, you know, this is like when we were seeing all those pictures of Leonardo DiCaprio and Regis Philbin and like A-list stars hanging out at Diddy's house. This has nothing to do with promoting that they are involved. I just think that he was such a big deal. Diddy was such on top of the world at that time that I think so. A lot of people were scared to lose connection with him. And B, I think literally a lot of people are scared for their lives to say anything. That's why everyone keeps saying, how is Jaguar Wright, who is speaking like the whistleblower of the world right now, and I'll get into her, or people like Gene Deal, the ex-bodyguard, or kind of anyone that's starting to come out and speak, how are they not being like taken down years ago? They've been doing this for years. So, what's funny is like, I can see why people keep their mouth shut. I can totally empathize and understand why. However, if you are keeping your mouth shut and you're holding, you're staying quiet to protect a predator, a criminal, a pedophile, a sick person, and then they get charged and there's proof that you knew and didn't say anything, like you're screwed. So at the end of the day, it's like, what's better? I think people truly believed for years and years and years that he was untouchable. I don't think anyone thought he was going to go down for this. I think they thought, oh, wow, look, there's R. Kelly that went down, but everyone else is going to be fine. And I heard from many clips that I've seen that like basically R. Kelly was pushed to the front to take the fall for everyone else. And then now it's Diddy being pushed to the front to take the fall for everyone else. And then who's going to be next? Like, this is what I've been kind of hearing. Not to say that Diddy didn't deserve to be taking the fall. I just wonder, It says, and this is okay. So Brian Friedman says, I represent a number of people who have been concerned about being wrongfully mentioned or rumored to be part of this just by an association unrelated to any wrongdoing. They don't want to part of some rumor mill because they have some tangible connection to Combs. And that is very possible. There's a lot of people that were just in meetings with him, that were doing business with him, that were part of, the vodka brand, or people that were trying to produce a song with him or whatever, and have nothing to do with it. But I really truly believe those have nothing to do with it, have nothing to worry about. If there's no video evidence of you doing anything horrible, if there's no evidence of it, then I don't think anyone needs to be scared. I think those who are scared actually know that something is wrong. Like, you're not scared of getting caught for something you didn't do, right? It says the music industry's most famous CEO. His name is Sir Lucian Grange. Recognize the last name? Lucian Grange. He's the head of Universal Music Group. He is, I want to say he's French-British. I don't know exactly. His son is Elliot Grange. Who is Elliot Grange? He is married just recently to Miss Sophia Richie. That's Lionel Richie's daughter and Nicole Richie's half-sister. It was a huge viral wedding. It went everywhere. TikToks were going insane. I never fully got into it. She's got a very classy, beautiful, gorgeous style. She's so young. Like, I feel like I'm just too old to like get really into Sophia Richie. I don't really fully understand any of that. But she's married to the son of this man, Lucian Grange, who a lot of people are talking about Lucian as being somewhat connected to all of this. It says the music industry's most famous CEO, Lucian Grange, and his company have already defeated offensively false claims that they aided and abetted Combs that were made in a lawsuit back in May. People who worked with Diddy very closely, I'm sure they're terrified, and God knows what they were around, a music executive said. Last month, former record exec and if I could speak, that would be nice, but I'm nervous that Diddy's watching me. Last month, former record exec and convicted felon Suge Knight. I'm like reading Suge Knight. Suge Knight, Diddy's longtime rival, now in prison for voluntary manslaughter. So remember, like, there's a lot of bad ones here. Claimed to News Nation, yeah, he was speaking to Chris Cuomo, but then it got like pulled from online. So I don't really know exactly what he said. But he, I guess, said that Diddy's former staffer, who was veteran A&R man, his name was Tubby Holiday. Can you imagine if your name was Tubby? Procured young and underage girls for Diddy to traffic. This guy's job was to bring underage girls and girls who would have sex for employees and for other artists. Holiday, this Tubby guy, is now the president of Giant Records and co-founder of the Black Music Action Coalition. We were unable to reach reps for Holiday. Everyone knows someone who was at a party with Diddy. There must be 5,000 people who could have seen anything remotely bad that they worry they should have reported. Rather than losing sleep worrying about their name being mentioned in the case, Friedman is encouraging anyone falsely rumored to be involved with Combs or his parties to seek legal representation. Attorneys for this Lucian Grange and UMG Universal Music Group went straight for the jugular and argued that the accusations, this was when that man Rodney Little Rod Jones, that was like that 31-page accusation right before the raid. It happened a few months ago. They went straight for the jugular and argued that the accusations that this Rodney Little Rod said were so offensively false that they planned to take the unusual step of seeking legal penalties from his lawyer, the person who had made all those claims, for naming them. The case alleged that Grange and UMG execs had operated a sweeping conspiracy that violated the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. That's RICO. Okay, so when you guys hear this word RICO, it's about, because I keep hearing RICO and I was like, what is it? Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. It's like mafia shit. RICO is mafia, basically. And the statute is usually used against drug cartels and mobsters. I mean, it's crazy. This is wild, right? It also accused the various defendants of violating federal trafficking laws. In a response to that, UMG Universal Music Group and Lucian Grange said those claims were entirely invented by the guy that had said that was happening. And they ended up having to kind of back down because there was no legal basis for the claims and the allegations that were made against these UMG people. And for that case cannot be refiled. See, that's the thing, is like, you need, in order to have a case, and I'm not a legal expert here, we definitely need like an Emily D. Baker to talk about this. But in order to actually have a case, you can't just say, unfortunately, sadly, you can't just say it happened to me or they did this. You actually have to present some proof for it to be like arguable. I mean, that's why I'm so shocked about Leah Mcsweeney being able to even go there with this case. But another legal expert had also told Page Six that there are people in the music industry that will still be dragged into the Combs case. And, I mean, we'll see what happens. Now, last night, there was interesting because Piers Morgan to me has always been it's really interesting. Like, I remember that I used to look at Piers Morgan as being someone like very smart and intelligent. And then for a while there, he went really off base. And then he likes salacious kind of like TikTok viral moments. He brought on his show, he brought the Martha from Baby Reindeer. He had the real Martha on his show, which was like a sign of a little bit of a wackadoodle content, because to get her on your show is really a stretch. And then yesterday, he talked about Diddy. He's been talking about Diddy. I know like a few days ago, he had someone else on his show really going into Diddy. So I appreciate someone like a Piers for that reason because they're willing to go where a lot of journalists don't want to go right now. I think it's the first kind of mainstream journalism that is platforming people that really have bad things to say about Diddy, i.e., Jaguar Wright. Thank you, Sue, for becoming a member. Appreciate you. So, okay. So, Jaguar Wright, this is interesting to me. Jaguar Wright, I just saw in the comments, strikes certain people, and this is very common and very like this is not the only time I've ever heard this, as a wild conspiracy theorist, as someone that is so wildly wrong and out there. And I think it's because she talks about things in a way that feel very, how can I put this? That feel almost too wild to be true. She speaks in a way that is so salacious and so out there, but she speaks with such passion and such reality in her eyes that I tend to kind of believe a lot of what she says. So she got highlighted on Piers Morgan's show last night. It was like a 30-minute clip where 3 people were highlighted. I watched the entire thing. The first person was Jaguar. I wish Jaguar didn't go first, but in this moment, Piers asked her some questions. The problem with Jaguar in her approach, and this is honestly what I feel, is that she's not able to speak to her audience as if they know nothing. See, I am very much in this hole. I have been researching, I've been watching, a lot of you guys have been too. So we know the characters, we know the names. Like we know people's names like Kim Porter and Andrew B. Shore. And we know like who Sean Carter is without thinking, oh, is he Jay-Z? We know about like the names of the dream woman that he brought up. I can't remember that she brought up. Anyway, she has a very, very strong base of names and thoughts. And when she was on Piers Morgan, she didn't explain it to a layman. And that's what I wanted. I wish she did. I wish she came on there and said, listen, here's what I believe. But instead, she went like real hardcore on Jay-Z and Beyonce. She went really intensely on well, basically, it was mostly Jay-Z and Beyonce, honestly, in last night's, you know, moment. And she was exposing, like, they need to step down and they need to speak, and Jay-Z has been connected uh, to Epstein and to Combs and to this and to that, and, like, he needs to speak. And the truth is, I wish her delivery on those shows came off a little bit different. Does that make any sense? However, a lot of things that she has said in the past have come out to be true. And seeing some cases that underage girls were involved in and seeing them speak on TikTok now about what they experience at the parties is true. And hearing this attorney that has these 120 cases and 25 of them are underage, et cetera, it all seems to be connected. So I will continue to watch Jaguar, but I don't take her word as Bible. However, the next person that came off on the show, so, like, he asked a lot of questions and she went off a little bit, and then he was like, "Okay, bye." Like, he didn't say a word. He kept saying, like, "Well, Jay-Z's not here to defend himself. Beyonce's not here to defend herself." Like, and then it was quiet, and she left. This other man then comes on the show, and his name is Vlad. I don't know who the hell this Vlad guy is. But when I tell you, this guy minimizes the crimes against Diddy or the charges against Diddy in such a way that I will never be able to trust anything he says. I think he's on payroll. he number one immediately says Jaguar's a well-known conspiracy theorist. And then he's like, well, everything's right now hearsay, not really sure exactly about the charges. I don't think anyone else is really nervous about anything. This is what they do. They go after someone when there's a documentary that comes out about them. And like, this is just the way it went with R. Kelly. I'm like, dude, you're basically completely ignoring the fact that this man has been accused of like some serious crimes, and I believe connected to some serious crimes, especially when it comes to trafficking and underage minors. So this Vlad guy coming on there and like really lightening the load around P. Diddy, it bothered me. Did anyone else feel that way when you watched it? Okay, so Mallory says he's a major culture vulture and douche. He has a YouTube channel. Yeah, I've never even heard of him. I have no idea who he is. And I thought, yes, Patrice says he has to be getting paid or threatened. He comes on there with such a strong like voice against what we all believe about P. Diddy. I'm almost wondering if I can just find a couple clips to play with you I don't want to play with you. But yeah. Okay, let me just show you a couple minutes. I'm just going to be kind of jumping around. This was on Piers Morgan's show last night. This is on YouTube. I don't know where his show actually airs, but this is on YouTube.
Jeffrey Epstein, Sean.
I'm going to start with you. You've been called a whistleblower. You knew Sean Diddy Combs for a long time. You attended a number of his infamous parties. And in 2022, you made headlines after comments where you called him a sex trafficker. And in response, you were called crazy and jealous. Do you feel vindicated by the events of the last few weeks?
No, not at all. Because he's just the beginning. Until him and his cohorts are all held to account publicly and legally, the victims, they're not safe.
How bad was it?
That's what I care about. I care about the victims.
No, I understand. How bad was it, do you think, what was going on?
I'm going to tell you right now that me, as a woman who has been in the industry for over 30 years, I've been performing live since I was 13. My first handler was McKinley Horton.
I don't want to go through this entire thing.
I come to find out 25 years later that a scar that was on his face with a very elaborate story he gave me was put there by a woman who he assaulted. To live through these things and hear your elders in the business, people like Patti LaBelle say, just avoid him, honey. Forces everyone and have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter.
That's Jay-Z.
This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
There's been obviously...
Okay, so she goes off on, and you can watch the entire thing. And then Vlad comes on, and he's like, ugh, I don't know who this guy is.
Well, Jaguar Wright is known to be a conspiracy theorist. I don't really co-sign anything that she says. I've never had her on my show, and I don't have any plans to have her on my show.
You don't believe her?
She's got an album in 20 years, and a lot of this stuff is just stuff she's heard, things she's making up, and so forth. I'm not saying that there aren't serious things that Diddy may have done.
Why isn't he looking in the camera?
Yeah, I can't co-sign anything that Jaguar Wright is saying, if that's your question.
Well, I mean, obviously, since we last spoke, there have now been these charges against Diddy, which are incredibly serious. You didn't think at the time we last spoke that he was likely to face these charges. Are you surprised it's come to this?
I'm not surprised, because I feel that law enforcement in general is reactionary.
Listen
I think
to
that when
this.
you look at high-profile individuals, their arrests, indictments usually come after a documentary, a big TV show, or in Diddy's case, there was this huge lawsuit that Cassie filed that everyone got to see all the details and all the attention that came to it. So yeah, it wasn't a surprise that it actually happened, because you've seen this happen over and over again. R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, all the attention that he got, and then now Diddy. So yeah, I mean, this is ultimately the world that we live in. But he'll have his day in court. And, you know, his lawyer said that he's not going to take a plea deal, because I think a plea deal at this point is probably.
All right. I don't like him at all. This is not a man that supports victims. This is not the one. Yes, Michelle is right. Craig Conover, it always goes back to Craig, taught us that looking to the left is a lie. Okay. This one's looking to the left, to the right, up, down. He's looking anywhere but Piers' face. Not a fan of this guy at all. Now, at the end, we had that woman that I spoke about yesterday. Her name is Ariel Kidd Mitchell, I want to say. Is that her name? Yes, she is. I thought she was incredible. And she came on immediately. And she basically went off. She told Jaguar that she needs to get an attorney because of everything she's saying. I think she's basically saying, call me. And then she also went off after him.
Diddy's alleged victims. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. There are so many people coming forward now with allegations about Diddy. What do you think about the scale of this case?
Well, before I get into that, I kind of want to address the prior two panelists. First with Mrs. Jaguar Wright. She said a lot of things that were very jarring in her explanation of what she saw and had firsthand accounts on. My concern for her, she's saying a lot of things that could be considered libelous.
Right.
And I would suggest that she contacts an attorney, if only to vet the information she has or purports to have from other victims. At least they can protect her, and then they can also do their due diligence, the attorneys, to make sure that the information she's receiving is accurate outside of the things that she knows and may have proof of. I was very concerned about some of the things that she had said in her prior segment. I also want to address Mr. Vlad, who I know to be a culture vulture, who takes from the Black community and doesn't give back and puts artists in situations where then they are indicted by the police. And he's very much so what we call police type investigation in the Black community. And for him to repudiate what Mrs. Wright has said, I thought was completely out of line. He can say he doesn't agree, which is fine. But for him to be someone who constantly uses the Black community and uses them as a means for his platform, I thought that was very inconsiderate and unprofessional. Now, to get to your question that you asked.
And then she goes into, of course,
regarding the
allegations and how victims are coming out every day. I love this woman. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be an incredible woman to keep watching. Ariel Mitchell Kidd, I believe her name is, or Kidd Mitchell. I can't remember off the top of my head. But she is incredible. So keep watching her. We will definitely keep watching her. Now, in terms of which celebrities are showing up with some distractions. Remember yesterday I talked about so many distractions, how like this is what they do. And PR reps have been telling me that this is how it works. There's always distractions. Well, interestingly enough, yesterday there was an article last night on Daily Mail. When I tell you, you can't make this shit up. I need to show you guys the headline of this article. And I'm not saying anyone is definitely involved. I'm just saying, I find it really interesting that this article just came out yesterday. Guys, Will Smith farting on set caused film crew to be evacuated for 3 hours. And that is the most I will talk about Will Smith and farting, because I don't like talking about farting ever. And the fact that that's a headline is shocking. It's like headlines are wild sometimes. Jennifer Garner has nothing to do with this, but there was a headline the other day that literally said Jennifer Garner blows big bubble while shopping with her son. And it's a picture of her with a big bubble of bubble gum. I was like, what? There's a lot of stuff going on. This is what we're writing about these days. Farting is a distraction. Just trying to end it on some light, and Ellen DeGeneres is out there talking about her ADHD and her cosmetic surgery procedures. I mean, who knows? Let's let's keep going, you guys, because we do have a little bit of a time sensitive issue here. So I want to get into some light and tight content. Let's talk about the TV shows that we watched last night. We're going to start with Golden Bachelorette because Golden Bachelorette to me it's just, you know what? Actually, let's start with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and end on our happy place. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City was on. This is a great season. I immediately am feeling good about it. I feel like Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is literally the salt of the housewives' earth. They are so over the top, every single one of them, and I love it. I love the new addition of Bronwyn. I'm feeling really happy about this. I don't know if you guys like her or not. The way I look at these housewives, and I've done this already this season with New York, like I go in there with kind of a litmus test. Like, where am I feeling? How am I feeling about them? Do I love them? Do I not really like them? Like, where am I feeling about these housewives? This season already, I can tell you, Lisa Barlow, I don't know why. I can't stop. I love Lisa. Okay. They say you've heard of I Love Lucy, but I love Lisa. Okay. She is to me just such an iconic housewife, and I really enjoy her. I like Bronwyn. Something about her face. I can't put my finger on it. She looks like someone. She reminds me of someone. She speaks like someone. I don't know exactly what it is. I really like her. Holly says, I love that Bronwyn has her own teeth and not veneers. How refreshing. It's actually really true. She has imperfections. I like that. I love her vibe. I don't know. And I love that she is a new cast member and doesn't hold back. Now, the true, thank you, Robin, for becoming a member. The true top of the lineup for me is Mary Cosby. And I will have you know that I was an early adopter of Mary Cosby. I liked Mary Cosby the first season, even when she was nutty times 1,000. Everyone wanted to get rid of her. Everyone thought she was problematic. And truthfully, I believe that she walked so that Ramona Singer could run. I saw someone post that, and I can't remember where I saw that, but it's so true. I'm sorry, Ramona Singer walked so that Mary Cosby could run. In a world where everything gets canceled, where everyone is offended, where everyone gets mad about something, give me Mary. Okay. Mary Cosby says the most out of pocket shit, but it's so well received this season. Nothing she's saying is too low. Nothing she has said this season is too low. I mean, yeah, she says something like, oh, I thought she was skinnier than that. She does cross the line for like the highly offended crew. But for people that understand like what we need in a good housewife, Mary, cream of the crop. Like I look forward to when she speaks. I get excited when she speaks. I'm like, it's going to be good. Now, this episode took all the girls to Milwaukee, as Heather Gay said. Heather Gay is an interesting one. I want to like her because in all honesty, she seems so fun. She really does. She seems so fun and so light and so just like ready to party and enjoy herself. However, she has been embroiled in a lot of the drama and she created a lot of the drama. And I really don't like what she's thinking when it's coming to her Bronwyn takes. I don't like how she's so trying to like nail Bronwyn with talking shit about Whitney when I actually think that Bronwyn didn't do anything that out of pocket. It's a little strange. It's feeling very like territorial. Like, don't come in here and become Whitney's friend. So, I want to like Heather for her personality, and then I don't like Heather for a lot of reasons this season. It's not like hitting for me. Whitney's kind of like take it or leave it. That first episode was a big Whitney episode. Since then, I haven't really seen anything crazy. But Meredith saying Alibaba yesterday killed me. So they go to Milwaukee. They go to Wayne's World, Milwaukee. They go to Milwaukee. And they get there on a private plane. It's early in the morning. We know Bronwyn's pissed at Lisa and Heather. There's some drama between Whitney and Meredith. It has to do with caviar. This caviar conversation totally went over my head. I've never fought with someone and told them to bring caviar. They get to Milwaukee. They get to this beautiful suite. All of them are very happy to be there. They're all eating. They're drinking. Mary joins. Covered up when I tell you, Mary is in such like disguise. I don't know where she came from, and I don't know how she got there. They were taking a private plane, and she still didn't want to fly with them. I think it's because she had too much luggage. We see her showing up in Milwaukee, and she tells the most out-of-pocket story about her dad. Mary Cosby's dad grew up in Milwaukee, a block away from Jeffrey Dahmer. She goes, he would go to work and smell these smells, and he didn't really know what was going on. He was there for the arrest of Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, he wasn't there. He was just nosy, but he was there. Thank you, Mary, for always having a story. She comes to the hotel too. They all get together. Now, Lisa has a moment when they're sitting at this brunch where she gets really, really emotional talking about Jack. And as a mama bear, I get it. Like, her son is, having he's sick on his missionary. She's feeling very nervous and scared. And I get that. She's like, he's my baby. And Mary, of all people, gets up and gives Lisa a hug. And she's like, I'll be praying for him. Now, meanwhile, Mary's son calls her. This is the best. Raise your hand if you've had a call like this from your kid. Hello. Hey, Mom. Hey, what's up? You called me? Yeah. Can you give me $60? Did you even want to say, how are you? Did you even want to see that I made it safe? Like, I love Mary for calling that out in her son and not just being like, yes. Let's see what else happened in this time period. Oh yeah, they get ready to kind of separate. There's a casino that half of them are going to, and then the ones that are practicing Mormons that don't gamble or anything, they don't go. So the fun ones go to the casino, but then Bronwyn and Mary and a bunch of them go to a bobblehead museum. I don't know. I kind of like, this is when I tune out, when they do these silly activities. Although it was funny because we did see Mary in a Golden Girls uniform, or like they did some sort of gold. The editing is amazing on this show. And at this point we have let me think, hold on. We have all the girls at the casino and they're talking, and this is when Meredith goes to Heather and she goes, I heard that Whitney's getting her designs of Alibaba. Am I the only one that doesn't know what Alibaba is? She goes, it's Alibaba. Alibaba, I guess, is some offshore account where you can buy really, really cheap designs, and she's using the stock images and selling it. Now, Meredith is saying, everyone's talking about it on social media. I have not seen one thing about this. Maybe you guys did, but she literally did not. Like, she's basically saying, like, myself, my son, my daughter, my husband, my sister, and my friend, they're all talking about it on social media. Alibaba. And Heather's like, well, are you going to say anything to her? And she's like, I should. I'm a mentor. I've gotten design awards. But I don't think she wants to hear that from me. And like, she might as well have looked straight into the camera and given us like breaking the fourth wall situation and looked at the camera and been like, the world needs to know that Whitney is a cheat. It was so good. So they have fun. They're gambling. There is a moment with Brittany. We have this new housewife, Brittany, who, guys, I want to shake her. And I think they all do. This woman cannot be any more stupid in terms of her dating abilities with this Jared Osmond. She's so obsessed with him. She's calling him, FaceTiming him. He keeps not responding. Lisa has to write a text for her. I mean, she literally is less mature than my 16-year-old niece in terms of like dealing with boys. I can't take her seriously ever. I would never be able to be her friend. Never. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say to her. It doesn't matter what experience you give her or what advice you give her. If that Jared guy calls, she will drop everything and call him back. Lisa had to write a text for her. Okay, say that I'm busy with my friends, send it off to him. And yet an hour later, she was FaceTiming him. She's unreal. It's so annoying to watch because I'm like, you're a mother. You're a mother and you are an adult. Like, get your shit together. You're 40 years old. I don't know how old she is, but it's really, really strange. Meanwhile, Angie K brings all the drama because her brow lady who I want to go to this brow lady because Angie's got good brows. Her brow lady in Salt Lake City, she's the brow queen of Salt Lake City, told Angie that she's been DMing with Jared. And Jared said, Brittany and I broke up 2 weeks ago. And you know, can I call you? Can I see you? So Angie has this in her mind. Now they go to this game. I'm confused. It's a Bucks game. It's a Greek game. I don't know. It's a basketball game. All of a sudden, all these girls are like, we're huge fans. We love basketball. They go down to the floor. I think they're all just drunk. I mean, Heather's been drinking tequila shots since 7 a.m. Did you guys notice that? They had a tequila shot before they left the house or before they left the hotel. They had tons of tequila and drinks at the casino. And now they're at the basketball game. This is a full day drinking event. They're having fun. They go up to the box and they're enjoying themselves. And this is where Brittany is FaceTiming Jared and gets him on the phone and is so happy. And literally right behind her, Angie K and Bronwyn are like, so he's cheating on her. So like they're going back and forth. So Angie decides, I'm going to be a nice woman. I'm going to tell her. And she said, Brittany, I just want to let you know exactly what's going on. Brittany starts to cry, goes into the bathroom, and Angie did the right thing. Yeah. Did she need to hear about it right then at the party? I don't know. I think it's almost better if you kind of hold on to that until later. But this is a TV show. Of course you needed to tell her right then. This is when we find out that Mary holds her pee in and doesn't go to public bathrooms because she inserts tampons into her body. I want you guys to understand that that is not real. Like, there are 2 holes. There is this hole. It's the bigger hole for where you insert a tampon. And then there's that little air hole right there. That's the pee hole. A tampon does not connect with this. A tampon does not close off the urine. What the fuck was that? Mary, I love you, but Mary, are you trying to get a Playtex sponsorship? That's not going to work. I have never seen a box of tampons that say can also be used as a diaper. What the hell? Michelle says, did Mary mean pad? Maybe. No, but I think she said stick it up there. Oh, wait. Patrice says my doctor said it does hold the bladder up. I've had to pee very, very much with a tampon. Like, I don't remember. Meanwhile, all the men in the comments are just falling apart right now that we're talking about this. Sorry. It's a woman's world and we're living in it. So, I just found that to be so random and funny. Bronwyn ends up going to Lisa and Heather and really just giving them shit about the fact that they threw her under the bus for talking shit when they were talking just as much shit. There's a story about Mei Lee and Nordstrom's. Can't tell you about it because don't know anything about her. I have yet to know who Mei Lee is. I saw her for 4 seconds. I'm not going to spend time and energy on her yet until I believe she is worthy of it. Right now, the show is too full. Now, at this moment, I really got annoyed with Heather. She's really going in on Bronwyn. She's like, the way that you talk about Whitney is not what a friend does. I don't think Bronwyn ever said anything that bad about Whitney. She didn't call her a horrible person. She didn't call her an awful human being. She didn't call her a bitch or anything. She just said that she was probably practicing that thing in the mirror about how she's on her healing journey. So wasn't a fan of that. Wasn't a fan of Heather. I like Bronwyn. We'll see how it goes, but I like Bronwyn. I'm feeling her. I love Angie. I love Mary. I love Lisa. And I love Bronwyn. And Alibaba. I always love Alibaba. Okay, let's move on to Golden Bachelorette. We got to talk. Oh, speaking of, let's get into Golden Bachelorette because I am low on time. I have to take my kids to batting practice. Golden Bachelorette was the moment for me. It was everything for me. That show brings me such freaking joy. And Charles Ling had so much content in last night's episode that I couldn't even film it all. Like, Charles is the star of Golden Bachelorette. Do not tell me that I'm wrong. Yes, I understand Joan is the Bachelorette, but I also want you to understand that out of all the men, there are some standouts. Charles is not going to end up with Joan. I don't believe Charles will ever kiss Joan. I don't believe they have a romantic connection. I don't believe there's any sort of like stomach flutters. I don't think she can ever let go of Charles until the very end. I don't know what I'll do. He's so loving. He's so kind. He's so sweet. He's so adoptable. Like, I just want to take him and bring him to me into my lap. Like, I don't know how to explain Charles. The guys on the show are precious. I love it so much more than I loved Golden Bachelor. Number one, because I like Joan. Couldn't stand Gary. Gary, don't worry. Gary the Kermit the Frog will be back in the episode in just a bit, trying to win Joan's heart. So I am so loving these men for the most part. There's a couple that annoy me, but for the most part, they're so freaking sweet. And they're all talking about, I mean, is there a show for those of you that have been married a long time? Is there anything worse than when you wake up and you're like, I'm really tired, and your husband says, oh, me too. I didn't sleep well. I love you, men. I really do. I love every single one of you men. But I'm telling you right now, you guys complain. And these men, they could not handle all of it. They couldn't handle the pain and the torture and the snoring, and they're getting massages. They're all a mess. And I love every second of it. There's a whole scene about Charles going to the with what's the other guy's name? And I can't remember all of their names. It's too early. There's so many of them. He goes to the guy with the guy that ends up doing a beautiful prayer for Joan at the end. And they go to like a convenience store to buy all kinds of like sleep things for the guys. And Charles is like, we will get them to sleep. So cute. There's a one-on-one date with Pascal. I'm telling you right now, she's going to end up probably. I'm making my predictions right now. Ready? Ready? My predictions. Pascal or Chalk. That's my predictions. Pascal is a smoke show for her. He's hot. He's got a French accent, and he's rich. He is real rich. He's loaded. And I think they had a lot of fun together. They went to Vegas on a private plane. They drove a really nice car. They got to dress up in clothes. They got to dance to Wayne Newton. What? And then, of course, they ended up going to a beautiful dinner on the Strip. I thought it was a beautiful, amazing date. And I felt the chemistry. She didn't go on a one-on-one date with Chalk on this episode. She went with Jonathan, who I also felt the chemistry, but not as much. She also wasn't in a very good place when she went out with Jonathan because she was struggling, because all these feelings of her ex, her husband that died, John, are like bubbling up. And her mom, who's 92, 93, is sick. So she's struggling a little bit. They also did this crazy kickball date, group date, which was so funny to watch. These guys kicking the balls and rolling over and breaking their, hamstring, tying their, pulling their hamstrings. And it was a fun group date. And she ended up giving out a couple roses throughout. She gave one to Jonathan, she gave one to Pascal, and she gave one to Gil, who ends up being the guy that has a restraining order since the show was filmed. Remember that? Or before the show was filmed. Now, at the end of the show, she's going into the rose ceremony. She gets really emotional. She's saying, I'm letting you guys know I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with that, with her husband, her deceased husband, and her being away from her family and her mom being sick. And I thought it was a really nice moment. And then she got to hang out with every single one of them and do her thing with them. And Rick Leventhal is on the show. I don't know if you guys know that, but there is a man that is Rick Leventhal's doppelganger. Okay, I took a picture of him and I sent it to Kelly today, and she was like, LMFAO. This is Rick Leventhal. Tell me I'm wrong. This is Kelly Dodd's husband. He is on The Golden Bachelor. He's also Jewish. He must be related. I mean, they are twins. He brought her black and white cookies. I saw that. At the end of the date, at the end of the night before she does the rose ceremony, we're sitting there, we're just kind of hanging out, and all of a sudden, he pops out. Yup, Gary comes out of the limo. I said, what the fuck? Was this in his contract? No one likes him. I am sorry, but his Q meter or whatever, that's the likability factor, Gary's, is probably so low. Women do not like Gary. The way he kind of shady lied about the whole his past, and then he's divorced already from Teresa. You know he's a bad guy. He gets on that show last night, says hi to Joan. She's so excited to see him because Gary sees a way in. He says, I think I can get back. I want to win her heart because I don't want to continue to be a janitor like I am. So he comes over there and he goes to Joan and he sits down with her. You know, Joan, how are you doing on this? Tell me, how is it going? She's like, well, it's hard, this and this and that. And he's like, maybe the right one for you isn't here? Because I think I went through that. Then he says, you know, we had a really special connection. I almost went in there and slapped his hand. Get off her. Go away. You're a distraction. Go fart with Will Smith, Gary. We don't want you here. I don't want Gary to ruin anything. And he, I think, had a chance here. He thought he had a chance. He was like, I'm going to get in here and I'm going to win her heart back. I'm going to get me some Joni. I'm going to take her to the soda pop shop. Oh, yeah. Already did that with my ex-wife, Teresa. Who? Teresa Schmarisa, he wants to say. He loves the spotlight, this guy. And someone left a comment on my Instagram reel. I posted a reel about it where they said, why does he always look like he's outside in the sun with sunglasses and no sunscreen? And I was like, that is 100% true. Anyway, Gary finally left. Thank the Lord. Hopefully we never have to see him again on our screens. I'm not joking. He really triggers me. Gary's gone. Joan decides who she's going to give the final roses to, and she lets 3 men go, including one of the Navy guys. His name is Kim, probably because his name is Kim. Just kidding. Not kidding. I don't think I can marry a Kim. But anyway, he does a song. He wrote a song from he wanted all the men in the mansion to sing this song, and he only got one guy named Guy to sing with him. Because all the other guys were like, what the hell is this? And he's like, we are your mansion man. We love Joan. We don't want to be alone. We love Joan. And he got sent home. So note to self, do not write a song for The Bachelorette. And it is an amazing show. I cry. I laugh. I do it all. Okay. That show, Golden Bachelorette, needs to be on the radar. Remember, I'm doing a Love is Blind heavy recap over on Patreon starting this week. I will be starting going episode by episode. And we're doing our members only in literally an hour. I have so much to do before that. So hopefully I'll be here on time. I'll see you guys soon. Love you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for subscribing. Bye.